G'day. Now look, before we start, I just want to state that this is not a review of the Nisi V6 system. This is how to set it up on your camera and how to use it. If you were chasing a review, I've already done that, so I'll leave a link in the description below and a card. I'll just pop a card up there for you. Okay, so this video today, I'm just going to show you how to set the Nisi V6 filter system up on your camera and how to use it. So look, I've just got everything out here that's in the kit. I'll just quickly run through it. We've got the holder, we've got the main ring, we've got the circular polarizer, protection cap, we've got 3 step rings, and then we've got the pouch. Now I'll go through each one individually. I'll just start with the pouch. So this holds the whole kit, and a couple of neat things. It's got a holder on the back here. You can put it onto the leg of your tripod. So that's what I do. I just find it really easy. So I have that on my tripod leg, and Nisi also do another filter pouch. This one holds 9 filters, so 5 grads and 4 NDs, and that's got the same. So I have both of these on my tripod, and it just makes it really quick and easy to get to your filters. Now the other neat thing with this is when you've got it open, you can just Velcro that flap back like that, and then it allows you access one-handed without the top of it sort of flopping everywhere. Okay, so that's the pouch. Let's start with the main ring. So this is the main ring. Now this is 82mm diameter in here. So if your lens filter thread happened to be 82mm, then this will just screw straight onto your lens. If it's not, then you need to use one of these stepping rings, okay? And in the kit, you get a 67, a 72, and a 77, and I said that's 82. So this kit will fit lenses with 4 different filter thread sizes. Now, if your lens happens to be outside of that, all you need to do is buy yourself one of these Nisi step rings, and they're not expensive. Okay, so let's just start with this guy. I might just move this camera out of the way to start with. So I want to show you the polarizer and how to put it on here, and just a couple of little tips with that. So it threads into here, and we've got two little wheels that protrude out here. These are the wheels that we will rotate to rotate the polarizer to set it. So when we're putting this on, we need to hold these wheels and stop this inner thread here from spinning. If you don't, when you think about it, you're trying to thread something onto a thread that's already spinning, so it doesn't tend to go on, or you think it's on but it's not. So it's quite simple, just a thumb and a finger, lock those off, and then just sit the polarizer on. Now it is a really fine thread, so I like to go counterclockwise first, and it just tends to find the thread a little bit easier. And then we just rotate it clockwise, and there you can feel there that it has locked down. So it should thread on, you know, sort of do a couple of laps before it locks down. And then once that's down, don't be too concerned about getting finger marks on here, because these filters have amazing coatings on it, and it's just a matter of giving it a wipe with a cloth, and we just clean the inside of it before we put it on our lens. Okay, so that's the polarizer now ready to go, and as I said, to operate this, all we do is we just spin that wheel, and you should be able to see the little logo there, or the writing turning around. So we just rotate it until we have the polarizer in the correct spot. Okay, and then the same thing to get it off, we just hold those 2 wheels, and then we just spin it counterclockwise. Righto, so that is on. Now let's put that onto our lens. So I'll just bring the camera back up here. Okay. So this lens here, the filter thread size is 72mm. So I will need to use the 72mm step ring. It'll go on here, and then that will then thread onto the step ring. Now I'll just show you the best way to put these on, because what can happen is if you're unlucky, the step ring can get jammed on here and it can be very hard to undo. There's not a lot of room in there. If that does happen to happen, then you need something sort of flat and rubbery to get in here and then just sort of twist it off. I've used the boot of a shoe or no, the rubber sole of a shoe sort of works quite well. As I said, just something flat and rubbery that'll grip the surface and it will undo it. But to avoid that, this is how I do it. And again, it's easiest to do it with your camera not on a tripod, so your camera's off. Because I find it easier to sit the camera down like this. That way it's just easier for the thread to find the actual thread. So we put this guy on first. And what I do is I do him up, I wouldn't say super tight, but I do it down firm. Okay, and then once that's firm, then we can put our main ring with a polarizer on. And so again, with it sitting like this, it's easy to find the thread compared to if I had that on the front like on a tripod. Trying to find the thread can be quite difficult sometimes. So the secret with this one is spin it on, don't do it up tight, just nip it down. Okay, and it won't fall off, it won't come undone. So what happens now is when I want to take this off, I take that off, okay, and my step ring is still here because I did that down tighter than I did that. So then I just take my step ring off. If I want to change this onto another lens, then I don't have that issue of it being jammed on there. Okay, so that one down firm, and then this one we just nip it down. Let's find that thread, there it is. Okay. Righto, so that is now on, ready to go. So I'll show you the holder next. So this is the holder. We've got 3 slots. So a pretty incredible system. We can run 3 square or rectangle filters, plus we've got a polarizer. So 4 filters all up. You can run this on a full frame camera, 16mm full frame, no vignetting. So absolutely amazing. So with this holder, we've got the slots here, and we've got 2 pins on this side. One's a release lever and the other is a locking pin. Now, you possibly can't see it, but have a look on yours. You'll see there's 2 little lugs here, and how this works is they will come in behind here on this 82mm main ring, and then the lever will lock it in on the other side. So I always put it on the same way. I'm right-handed, so I keep this on the right-hand side, and I simply just come in from the left and then bring it around back towards me, and then just pull a lever, and then it's on. Okay, and when you're learning, what I tell people to do is put it on before you let go, especially if you have filters in it. Before you let go, make sure that it is actually on, because if it's not and you think it is, then you run the risk of it falling off. Now, once that is on, as I say, that'll rotate to wherever we want it, and we can then use this locking pin here to lock it off on whatever angle we want. So even if you don't want it on angle, even if you're just using it straight up and down, I find it easier to lock it off. It just makes it a nice sort of solid connection and a bit easier for us to put our filters in. Now just remember this, you don't have to do it up super tight either. You don't have to wrench it down, you've just got to just nip it up, and then it'll just stop it from rotating. So that's the holder. Now let's have a look at some filters. There are 2 different types of filters that we use in this system. Neutral density filter here. So this is a square filter, and you'll notice on the back it has some felt, and the felt is fatter on 2 sides, or fat on 2 sides and skinny on 2 sides. So there's a couple of things to know about these. 2 things. One is it must go in the very first slot, and the easiest way to remember is put the writing to the top. Okay, so writing to the top away from you, felt always comes to the back, because the felt comes along here and it will help seal off and make a perfect light seal in here so we don't get any light leaks. So it simply just goes into the first slot there and we bring them down. And again, when you're learning, I tell people it's easier to do this here rather than hanging over your camera. So just take it off, hold it in your hand, and then you can see that you're putting it into the right slots. See, I just got that in the wrong slot there. So you can just make sure that it's going in the right slots, you haven't crossed it over, your writing's to the top, felt to the back. And also what you want to do is you want to bring this down so as it completely seals and there's no light leaks in through here. So get that perfectly sealed. And then the other thing is, when you do it this way, you're going to be putting it on and off the camera more, so it's going to give you more practice doing that. And then after a while you'll feel a lot more comfortable putting it onto your camera. So ND filters always go in the first slot. That writing goes to the top, facing away from you, felt facing to the back. Graduated NDs will then go in front of that. We don't ever have a gap, so we would never, if we're only using these two filters, I would never put this in the third one. I always put the filters, always run them next to each other. That way you don't have the gap. And if you have the sun directly overhead, then if you had a big gap in here, you can get light coming and bounce around and get some little flares every now and then. So don't leave any gaps. And then this one, you just simply slide up and down to where it is needed. And of course we can unlock here, because a lot of times with our graduated filter, we might need it on a bit of an angle, might be on a 45, or sometimes we've got more light coming in one side, so we will have it coming in at a 90-degree angle. Or some situations you may have really bright light in your foreground and not in the background, and that way you would want to have it completely upside down. So when you do get it to your desired position, you can just lock it off here to stop it from rotating. So the only other thing is, if you're unfortunate enough to have a camera that doesn't see through the ND filter, as in once you put this in everything goes black and you don't have any live view, then you're going to have to set your graduated filter first. So you would leave the ND out and you would slip this one in, you would place it to the height that you need it, and then I'll just take this off, and then you can put your ND filter in. Okay, so then you'll just place that one in and then you're good to go. But there's not many cameras that are like that. Most of them you can see through the filters with live view. Even with a 10 stopper, they do a pretty amazing job. Okay, so the last thing, I'll just show you the cap. So we'll just take these filters out. So this is a protection cap. So you take the holder off, you leave the polarizer on, and then this cap just pushes on here. Just becomes a lens cap basically. So now that's protected, you can walk around with, if you're moving spots on the beach or wherever you are, or if you want to throw this into your camera bag with the system sort of all set up ready to go, then this works an absolute treat. Okay, so that's it. That's how to set up the Nisi V6 filter system on your camera. Now I'll be doing quite a few more videos in this series with this filter system. So I'll do another one on the different ND filters, when to use them, and I'll do another one on the graduated filters, the different styles, when we use a hard grad, when we use a soft grad, whatever. And I'll probably do one specifically on the polarizer. So keep an eye out for those. Thanks guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Ciao.